But got into this because my wife's a knitter, and she kept looking at these yarn bowls, and she come home one day. This is before I even had a lathe. I'd been woodworking for a long time. She bought a wooden bowl at a yard sale and said, "Can you make this into a yarn bowl?" I said, "Sure." And that's what got it started, and then I got to thinking, well, maybe I can turn my own. So I went and bought a cheap Craftsman lathe at a yard sale. Didn't have any chucks or anything else, and this is where we're at now. It just snowballed. All because of one stupid yarn bowl. But this is the first one I actually turned, and I did this one freehand with a coping saw. And let me tell you, that is a pain, trying to get those angles in there. Took forever. Pass that one if you want. So then, after that, I made several more, trying freehand with a Dremel tool is, and you got to be really careful. You can see that I got way too wide on that one.
I have a question. Is there a standard size they recommend for a yarn bowl?
Most of the knitters, I've made a half a dozen of them now and given them to my wife's friends, and they seem to like about a 6-inch bowl.
Okay.
That cedar one right there, it's just getting on the large side for them.
Okay.
And probably that first one was just about right as far as size goes. But one thing that they all talk about is wanting one that's a little bit heavier. So I turned this one out of ash, and I left the bottom a little thicker on it to get a little extra weight. And we're going to try to do this one with a Dremel with a router attachment. So we're going to see how that'll do. One thing you want to make sure is you want to do it on the face grain and not the end grain, because that really cracks bad on the end grain. I noticed that a lot of these women were having yarn bowls that just had like a J shape, just a simple J, and they're complaining about the yarn popping out. So the ones I made my wife have that spiral, and they seem to like that better. So that's what we're going to do. Draw it out. And I just do them all freehand. This is actually called a Fibonacci spiral. And there's a mathematical way to do this, but I never was good at math, so I just do it freehand. Except for I don't have an outlet anymore. Is one of these lights?
Like that?
Yeah. Coping saw blade too, that cuts from any angle. I haven't found one yet. I just read about them, but that would make the coping saw a whole lot easier to use. So let's give this a shot. Then when you're done with that, you end up with a mess like this.
Did you go all the way through? I can't tell. Or did you go partway?
Well, no, actually down here I didn't.
Have you ever tried to go partway and just go real shallow and then go back and
I have not.
keep going a little deeper?
I think that might be the answer though. Well, what I'm running into is down here where I left it thicker. It's not going all the way through. Yep. And then when you get that comes the fun part. Spent a lot of time with these files.
Is there a recommended diameter of that bit, Mark?
Recommended what?
Diameter of bit to use?
On the router? I tried going with a smaller bit. This is the size that I used in there today. And I have tried with,
I'd say about an 1/8 inch.
and that was too small. I'm going to go back to this. If you got a steady hand, you can clean up a lot of this stuff with a rotary burr. Yeah. At the end of the day, it all boils down to a lot of hand sanding. On sandpaper, emery strips seem to work better than anything, but you're going to want it rounded anyway. This is 60 grit.
Good old emery cloth.
Yeah, I just buy it in rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a picture, yeah.
My favorite tool, 60 grit.
There's a way to get rid of all this stuff, I can't find it.
No, that is 60 grit,
I had it last month. simple enough.
What's that little box? Yeah, that's something else, I guess.
Yeah. I'll go find out.
That little box worked.
It did, too many times.
Somebody here was telling, who was it that told me to use a template?
I did.
Okay,
I use a template in the router.
yeah, I would like to see a demonstration of that.
Template or a button?
No, I homemade. I make the template, then I use a bushing on my router to follow it and do the same thing he's doing right there.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
So I can do that in June. I got one coming up in June.
Using the laser to burn this.
When you use a laser, if it doesn't go all the way through, can you do it again?
Yeah, you can set it up to do as many passes as you want.
Okay. Yeah, I bet that would be a good, clean way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put something on the opposite side just so it doesn't burn the opposite side.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. You have to foil tape or something in there.
Something. I've done that before.
Fast.
But anyway, that's kind of, you don't want to watch me sit here sanding all day, but one thing you do have to watch for is this little nub right here, because that breaks out real easy. Here's a throwaway bowl I was practicing on, and you see that it's gone. One little bitty catch on that, it'll break. And if you end up doing it on the end grain, it's going to break anyway. But that will probably be another hour's worth of sanding.
Very good, Mark.
Looks great.
Harrison, see what you use.
Any other questions for Mark? Okay, Mark, thank you.